What's up, everybody? My name is Angel, and welcome to Shadow Wolf Gaming, where I'm a total nerd and I talk about a lot of video games. And so today, for my YouTube session, I'm actually live streaming this. I'm also going to be talking about Gears of War, inspired by our friend Hannah over here of Hannah's Overinvested, who recently watched a video about Gears of War. And so there are a lot of questions she asks about the universe, and so having been a gamer, I've played this game multiple times over, and I just have a lot of experience with it. And I have a deep connection with the story, more in the sense of just I played it at least many times through, like reading a book over and over again. And I'm already flubbing this up, but that's okay. I'm going way off script. I don't like doing scripts. I like to do more of a raw reaction. And so my goal today of the video is to be able to kind of explain what is happening, give some deep dive into the story and what made the game really popular. I'm going to be going over my footage that I streamed a while back, about how many months ago was this? 6 months ago. 6 months ago, of Gears of War 1 Ultimate Edition. So if you haven't already, make sure to go follow Hannah's Overinvested. She is a wonderful content creator on YouTube. Lots of great stuff. And is an awesome author. And I really hope to check out one of her books these days. So please do make sure to go give her a follow. All right. So Gears of War is a series. What kind of series? Well, it's a war-based one. Coming out in the era of the early 2000s. So around this time, HBO's Band of Brothers came out. Call of Duty was barely hitting its stride with, say, Call of Duty 3, Finest Hour in terms of that. So, yep, 4 Gears. You'd say Lancer. Hell yeah, Shrike. But around this time era, we were in a very dark time in the early 2000s. With Gears of War, yes, so that's actually a great example. It was something new. It was dark, it was gritty. Back then, in the 90s, all the games we had were like, your colorful Marios, Sonics, and Crash Bandicoots. The closest we've had to a dark and gritty game was Metal Gear. And Metal Gear was like, it was pretty campy, but it was like, whereas like James Bond had GoldenEye, Die Another Day in the movie theaters. But like I was saying, around this time when the Xbox 360 came out, this is where video games really started to hit their stride of like, all right, all the kids that were playing video games are now growing up. They are teenagers. We got to appease to more of that primal instinct of just like pure rage, pure combat. Like how in the 90s we had grunge music to appeal to that. We had metal music to appeal to that, right? In the world of video games as an art medium, Gears was that response. So where in 2016 we had Doom make a resurgence, and that Doom guy is a great iteration, this is a slight successor to that, because Doom was its own swing of the... Anyways, going to it, we're going to go right into talking about the game. And so, like I said, Gears of War was a very gritty game. It was very dark. Like, just here alone with the crimson omen of the skull and the gears, Because, oh look, there's Past Me. Hi, Past Me, how are you? So, to kind of give us a small start, actually, hold on. Does this even go over E-Day? It does. Oh my god, hold on. We gotta go back a little bit further. I'm so sorry.
For a time, the humans of Sera knew the illusion of peace. Until... Emergence Day.
Oh! Scuffed recordings, let's go. Alright, so right there alone. So in that moment right there, to kind of explain the lore of Gears, is that it's very similar to how Earth was. Humanity, for generations and eons, has always been at war. We've been at each other's throats. So to give some context to this, prior to Gears 1, in the game Gears of War Judgment, we had a situation where we had a thing called the Emulsion Wars, where it was basically a war on fuel to fight for the fuel resources, which will play a huge factor in the later games, in at least Gears 2 and 3. So that is why there are multiple iterations of the Gears of War franchise, beyond just the fact that people are enjoying fighting hordes of faceless enemies and fighting on the brink of humanity's survival. That is one of the key elements and themes that runs through the Gears of War franchise that we do. We are on a fight for survival. We are on the back foot against a faceless enemy. Well, not faceless. Against an enemy who will stop at nothing to eat you. Who will stop at nothing to destroy your very existence. So, in terms of why we aren't negotiating with them, that's why. They are here to eat us and destroy us. They want to take over the surface. Got it? Get it? Alright, cool. So that's kind of like the base premise of it. Of at least like the first game. Of what we know so far. There's a reason why there are 2 and 3. And they really expand upon the whole story of the Locust Horde and the Swarm later on in Gears 4 and 5. Right now in Gears 1, we focus upon these heroes here. Specifically this guy right here, this badass. Oh, it takes...
In time, their valiant defense was crushed.
See, how do you negotiate with that? You don't. So here, humanity's on the brink, and we are on the back foot. And also, another thing on the lore stuff is that we humans in this game evolved heavily to be the beefcakes that exist in this game. If you see the guy who helped develop this game, he is just monstrously large. Like, monstrously large. You search it up. Like, I urge you to search that up.
With billions dead.
See, billions with a B.
Humans denied their enemy control by destroying their own civilization. Now, the long struggle against overwhelming odds approaches a final, desperate stab.
See right there. So that is the premise of Gears of War. We are on the last stand. We are the brink. We are the edge of humanity. We are the last line of defense. We are what's left from this. That is the whole premise of this. And so Gears 1, after replaying this, I was like, oh my god, all of this happens in the course of a day. Not Emergence Day, but the story of Gears 1 turns out happens in the course of a day. In this 1 6-hour play session, I was like, oh, okay then. So basically what happens in Gears 1 is we are on the back foot, and we are now starting to be able to fight back. That is the whole premise of that. In Gears 2, we slowly start to understand more of the Locust Horde and their dynamics. Turns out there was actually even more of them below ground. And so let's just run it through. Skip the gameplay. If you get a chance, when you do see this, please do check out the game. There's a reason the series is very popular. It is a co-op experience, so if you ever want to play it, I'd be more than happy to go in as your co-op buddy and just kind of show you the ropes on on a lot of these games. Yeah, like, I know the story back to front, and I would be more than happy to help give you that experience if you ever had the time to. So please don't be afraid to reach out. I would love to do that and play with you this on stream. I had so many great days playing this with my little brother, and the multiplayer on this is a lot of fun. And what's cool about Gears 1 is the split up mechanic. I talked about a little bit about this in my previous video with Gato Attack, about how in Arkham Knights that you could, like, if you could, you just split paths, you know, and go take different directions. So Gears 1 took a lot of that, took a lot of the whole soldiers, band of brothers type concept, and really went with it as like soldiers. Here we go. Here's a great example of how that mechanic works.
I'll show you guys how the controls work in this game, so that way you guys can kind of get used to it too.
It's so weird turning myself.
Let's take the guards' quarters. I gotta work out the kinks.
Sounds good, man. I got your back.
So the main characters we have for the original Gears trilogy is Dom and Marcus. Marcus Phoenix is the hero of Jacinto. He's a hero, essentially. We're just going to go with that. I don't remember too many of what his titles are, just because there's too many to deal with. But, so yeah, Marcus Phoenix, he abandoned his post to go rescue his father, who was a scientist who was working on the Hammer of Dawn, that laser beam technology that we use to basically destroy a whole city, so that way they don't overtake it. That way the Locust Horde doesn't overtake us. It's because if he abandoned his position, he got courted, and he got sent to this prison to die. Essentially, everyone in this prison is dead. So Dominic is his partner in crime, essentially, but his longtime standing friend. They are brothers from the front lines, kind of thing. And like any soldier story, you always have that. You always have that one person like you would die for on the battlefield, and that's something that we really bonded with as characters in the story of the Gears of War franchise. And so that's just kind of one of the key elements that really made Gears what it was. You really cared about these characters, and then the side characters that come on later on. I will introduce you to them as we go through my previous gameplay footage, but just to show you a little bit of what it was like.
This is how you should do a tutorial.
6-4, this is Delta 2.
This
We're
is 6
en
months
route.
ago.
Over.
Copy that. We are beginning our run.
So as you can see here, I'm just gonna mute myself. The game is a lot more grittier. It's a lot more, I don't know how to say, dingier, dark. It's very much what it was at the time, where whatever issues we were facing in the 90s and early 2000s, like we had a lot of there's a lot of angst and pent up rage. Like this is one of those games that kind of helped appease to that. Again, as you see, we have a gun with a chainsaw on it. How cool is that? That's something you don't see every day in a lot of soldier combat situations. This is a game that really took war to the sci-fi aspect of it, alongside Halo. Both this and Halo are two of the biggest franchises on the Xbox that really brought the sci-fi feel to it. And so it's because of that's what made Gears unique compared to Halo, where Halo is more of the Star Wars in line of just being like a lighter sci-fi universe. I mean, Halo is still dark as all hell, but Gears takes that darkness to a whole different level. And like I said, it's just grittier. It's a grittier storyline. Now, let me go over what my script said here. Ron Perlman was involved in this script. No, I'm just kidding. No. War has changed. Decades worth. I have a wrap in 10 minutes. Prior to events of the main series. Pendulum Wars. Sarah. Blah, 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 blah. This time, Marcus Phoenix. Anyway, Gears 1. I'm going to preface this. Locust Horde, snarling creatures. Gears 2, bigger, badder. Okay, yeah, no. So, like I said, I had a whole script of this. I'm going to forego the script. I had a whole different video recorded. I'm just going to go raw into this so you can see a little bit of what the gameplay is like. And I'm going to just go with the story here. So this is just basically training day right here in the sequence. There are cog tags in place of regular dog tags, which is your standard collectibles. And cutscene time. Here we go.
Welcome to Delta Squad.
Where are we going?
Embry Square. Colonel Hoffman's waiting for us.
Hoffman. Oh, shit.
This is gonna be awesome.
Hey, are you the Marcus Phoenix? The one who fought at Asfield Fields?
Yep.
Wow, cool.
Not really.
You! Traitor like you doesn't deserve to wear the uniform.
Looks to me like you need all the help you can get.
Step aside. Lieutenant, I've got good news. We have a plan to end this war. Once and for all.
Yeah, right.
Sensors are picking up enemy movement, sir, close by.
Locust! Take cover!
See, so it's something like that really sold a lot of what made this game insane. Especially in like a wartime scenario, where brief moments of respite can turn into a hell in a handbasket. Like, yeah, it's a war zone. It's war. When you're on the battlefield, you don't expect the unexpected, and things like that can happen. And so this is like the key thing about the Gears franchise that really made it really appealing was you had that frontline combat where you feel like you were making an impact. You were pushing back the lines. You were fighting through. Hey, dude, I don't think Pinky could make it as it would be too late for him to do the pod, but Okami said he will be there. Just send him a message and we'll be there in a few with a few friends, though. All right, for sure. Sounds good. I'm just recording the Gears of War, my Gears of War response video, as we're also kind of doing this live on Twitch. And I'm just going to raw record this, post it to YouTube for when this does go to YouTube. So, yeah. And so I'm just kind of like, yeah, going over what made Gears really unique. And so right there in just that little interaction alone, you have a general character right there on the front line, something you don't really see often in like a modern scenario. And in a situation like this too, like where you're ready to fight back, you're gonna have, you gotta have that Suicide Squad essentially, not the movie, but these guys. And like you got to be ready for action. See?
We now have the light mass bomb. I'll take out all these bastards with one shot. But it can't work if we don't have the targeting data. That's why we need the resonator.
So the plot is simple right here. In the very first minutes, all right, cool. We're sprung from prison. We're sent to the front lines. Now we need to go find whatever the hell this mapping device is to go map out the underground. That's, again, happens in the course of a few hours. And then after that, then we go basically send out the bomb. So as you can tell, there's a lot that happens like right off the bat. And this is just the first game alone. The second game, things get bigger in terms of the scale, in terms of the combat and the gameplay mechanics and just the story. The world gets more immersive. And we as the players are invested in this because, all right, cool. I'm not just some faceless grunt on the front lines. I'm this dude. You're like, if you notice in the earlier dialogue, Carmine, the dude with the helmet, asks, You're the Marcus Phoenix from Asphalt Fields? Oh shit, you're a hero. He gives you that. He gives you that line of, okay, all right. So we had some big impact. Now it's our turn to step up and do that again. But we're a disgraced soldier. How can we re-earn our reputation that way? Again, this is the remastered edition, so the graphics are far better. And also, I'm not looking at 50 Shades of Brown. Or is it? It's not. Everything's not as dirt gray as it used to be. Like, back then, the dust in this game used to look really, really bad. Classic line.
We're screwed. All clear. But the lieutenant here will be feeding you intel.
Yes, sir. And the smart thing to do right now would be to leave.
You get it done. I expect you to give me 110%, Phoenix.
I'm not doing this for you.
So yeah.
Oh my god. Thanks, past me. I guess that's my catchphrase. So yeah.
Enemy reinforcements.
What did I say here?
Take cover.
It's tough, it's gritty, and it's awesome. So, as you can tell, very warlike.
That one was on the house. Good luck, Delta.
So, oh my god. Now that I know I say so, yeah. It's just my transitional phrase. Just kind of going through it. Like, so now we're making our way to find that resonator. We go through different combat arenas, different scenarios, and then we get all these different cutscene moments, these sequences of just like, all right, so that's who these characters are. Actually, hold on a minute. I got to show you this one here. Wait, hold on. Where was it?
Through the neck. Damn, that's...
We meet a lot of great characters in this, actually.
I don't know if you can tell if that really affects how my style is, but this is really what makes me like so good at multiplayer, or like better at like multiplayer, because like I know how to coordinate with other teammates, just like call it out and just which way to go.
Okay, yeah. So I'm kind of jumping around in just this early part because a lot of it is kind of spoiler territory where it happens later in the games. at least 2 is definitely a lot of spoilers to 1. But yeah, I'll also go over my footage from Gears of War 2 just so you can kind of see the differences in how Gears of War 1 played versus Gears of War 2 played. I've yet to play through Gears 3 again. And then, of course, I'm going to go through Gears 5 and 4 and 5 again with my friends. So that way we can just, have that content. But this is pretty much where the Gears, like, storyline comes through, where it's just a very familiar environment, but it's also something different. I think I'm really straying away from like my response on like how I wanted to respond to the video, but like this is just like what made Gears appealing, and the story to it is a very long, lengthy lore explanation that I can go over. If you'd like me to go over, I would be more than happy to. But the gist is we're fighting a force like we've never seen before. We as humans are fighting a force that we have never seen before, who are brutal in combat, as you can see. And I'm like trying to make a cutscene here, like trying to give a more cinematic experience to the cutscenes in the game. So yeah, that's kind of just where the Gears franchise is at. It's a ruthless series, but with reason. It's about bonding and battling together, fighting through, fighting back at the brink of extinction. It's a fight for survival. That's what the whole Gears series is about. And there's probably more philosophy to it that I could delve into that I'm just not seeing in the moment of this recording. But beyond that, in the gameplay experience, it's me and my brother did this a lot with couch co-op, where we would have a split screen and he would be player 2 and just like, all right, I got this. Are you down? I got you. And then like I would run over to him, help revive him, and we would come back to our fight, and we would just still keep going and going and going. And just like once we get those cutscenes, like, all right, okay, cool, nice, And then yeah, we just get moments like this. Just as you can see, I'm playing this on hard if I remember correctly, where I'm getting my butt whooped, and if I had another player there, they would help me out too. So yeah. Gears of War was awesome, but with one of the games there was a big change. I can't remember which game it was though. Probably 4, because from 3 to 4 was a really, really, really big change. 2 to 3 was a decently big change. They added a lot of cool stuff in 3. Like in Gears 3, they added a horde mode, which is essentially you play as you and 3 other friends are going to be working together. You pick an area and you defend it, and you get to build your defenses, and you get to do all that kind of stuff. Actually, no, they added that in Gears 2, which is horde mode. And just progressively, the waves just got harder and harder. Gears 3, they added more to that. And then they also added a new weapon called the Retro Lancer, where it's like, instead of that chainsaw bayonet, you actually had like a bayonet, but you had to like run up and jab the dude, which is a really cool mechanic. But yeah, so this was an era of gaming where it was just a lot more. We wanted a challenge. We wanted something different. We wanted something darker and gritty. It might have been 4. It might be 4. 4, they changed up the mechanics a lot, which was kind of a huge turnoff to a lot of the players. And you don't play as Marcus anymore in that game. I'm not going to spoil who you play as until I can get around to making a second video, or until I can stream Gears 4. Well, once I go from 3 to 4, and then we'll do that. So yeah. As you can see, I'm stuck on this part right here by myself because, yeah. Let me see. There should be a cutscene that comes with this, too. Let me see if I could find it. Oh, hey, yo. Okay. This is the fun sequence here. Oh, beautiful. See?
Yeah, I'm back in the game. Yeah, that was beautiful, baby.
State your name, soldier.
Private Augustus Cole, Alpha Squad, sir.
Coal? As in the coal train?
Yeah, that's right.
Where's the rest of your squad?
They're sitting tight over in the tomb.
We're Delta Squad. We're here to retrieve the sonic device.
And to get you guys out of here.
Well, hell yeah, we've been waiting for the chopper, but the radios don't work for shit. Sir.
We noticed.
It's the Cedars. They're jamming our transmissions.
Then we have to make those Cedars our top priority, sir.
Agreed. We need to re-establish radio contact with Control ASAP.
All right, so that's the scene where they introduce one of the fan favorite characters, which is Cole. And Cole is like, he's so as you can see in the dialogue, he's basically a thrashball player, which is like the video game equivalent of football player. This was 6 months ago, Tricky. This was back in November. This I recorded. This is my gameplay footage from November. So like, yeah. So I'm working with past me because I don't feel like downloading my footage that I recorded because this is 6 hours. This is a 7 hour stream right here. I went through the entire game in one sitting during this stream, and so like I'm using my past footage as footage for YouTube while I'm reacting to my own footage while I'm trying to react and explain what the game is about to someone who has never seen anything about the Gears universe before. So I'm doing it that way. And it's going to be incredibly jank, incredibly scuff, but you know what? I'm cool with it. This is my style. Like I'm cool with recording in a format like this. Where when I do a scripted format, it's going to be a lot more I don't know, it feels very like I want to do a lot of editing to it, but my rule of thumb is work with what you've got. So yeah. So as you can see, we get a lot of cool cinematic sequences like this. We get to know the direness. We get to know our characters. And there's a lot of heart to a lot of these characters. Like Cole right there, you guys like, all right, man, I'm the big jock, dude. I'm here to kick ass and help do my part to help. Like that's kind of it. Like, but he's still able to hold that whole like, yes, sir, I will follow your orders, sir, kind of thing. And when I was younger, I really enjoyed like pretending I was a soldier. Like I liked playing soldier when I was a kid. And so getting to do that in these games really appealed to me. Just more in the sense of just like, all right, like I'm here, I'm fighting, I'm doing my part to help save humanity kind of thing. So this really appealed to a lot of that. And this was something different because we weren't fighting aliens from outer space. We were fighting creatures from below. That's entirely different. Like when you think invasion force in a sci-fi series, you always think like, oh cool, you see the spaceships coming up. Here, this is total fear. As you can see right here in this sequence, the wretches, they're coming out of the ventilation shafts. They're crawling, they're jumping at you. And then like in the very beginning that I showed in the gameplay, you see that big hand-like looking spider thing come out of the ground. Oh god, I forget the name of that thing, but that's a corpser. And like you never see anything like that in other sci-fi series except maybe like say Dune. And then this weapon here that I'm going to use, the Hammer of Dawn, like that was the solution. They didn't have any access to the skies. We did, and so we would use that to just bam. It's just different. It's unique. It's unseen. Like we could call in an airstrike, but our airstrike's gonna get shot down. So let's call in a laser strike from orbit. It's things like that. Like this. Bam, see? Right there. And one of my friends just went live on Twitch right now, so make sure to go give them a follow. But yeah, as you can see, that's just kind of some of the elements here. And then let me go show off the fourth character. Skip through. And you had moments like these where you're just waiting, and then you see these big architecture locations, Oh, this is interesting. This is a fun part here. Beyond me just totally pasting that dude on the machine gun. But now, so remember how they said there was their friends in the tomb? This is that tomb sequence that we were talking about. Now it's our turn to help give them covering fire. All right, cool. We're going to be shooting through. Let me see what Tricky said here. The only thing about multiplayer online with 4 people co-op, some people tend to leave. Basically, you're doing it alone or playing with someone else, and they won't come back for you. That's the only thing about multiplayer. That's why you play with a dedicated group of friends. So back when I played this, like I said, I always played this with my little brother. So we would have a split screen experience. But in Gears 4, you would have 4-player co-op, where you and one other person on the couch, or you and 3 friends online can work together to go through the story. And sometimes you would matchmake instead, and that would also kind of just add to the experience of the games. And as a game experience, you want to work together as a team, but when one person dies, well, they're going to blame you for being the weakest link, when in actuality, everyone has to do their part, everyone has to team up. And that's the big thing about games these days that really needs a lot more. You need to co-op more. That's it. Like, we either get just a single player experience or a PvP online multiplayer experience. We don't have much co-op experiences anymore, nor stealth experiences, but that's a whole different beast that we're not going to talk about in this video because it's already a half hour long. So we're just going to go through this little fight sequence and then go into the cutscene, and then I will leave you with that. And if you would like to see more of this, let me know, and I'd be more than happy to talk about the rest of the Gears franchise. I can even go over Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, and Gears of War 4. See, I never did that as I wanted the full screen, so I didn't have anyone to play with back then besides other people online, which is completely fair. Yeah. And that's a whole different experience compared to how I experienced the game, which is completely normal. There is no one way to play a video game. There's no one way to experience what you experience in gaming. Yeah. We play through the story the same way, but how we interact with each other is a completely different thing. And so, if you ever get this game tricky, I think if you ever get Microsoft Game Pass or Xbox Game Pass, or if you have an Xbox One and you have this, I'd be down to run this with you. I don't know what to do to get Gears 3 working again, though, so that's going to be a trickier one. Haha, I made a bad joke. But I'd be more than down to run these in co-op campaign mode, because it's a fun experience, especially having that extra player by your side. Now, this is where I'm going to... Oh my god. My reactions and mannerisms are the same.
Copy that. We're at the pickup zone now.
We have visual.
We're out of here.
Man, I pick my guts out on those things every time.
Guess you're sitting next to Marcus then.
Ignore that frame drop. It happens.
Who loves you, baby?
Yeah, group hug.
Where's Rojas?
And here you can tell something's just off.
Locust!
Take cover! Under fire! They're flanking!
I am pleased with our progress. I understand they have located another squad. Our strategy remains the same. Cut off the head of the snake, and the body dies. We will win this war. It's only a matter of time.
No, we're here for Alpha and the Resonator. Come on!
All right. And that's where I'm going to leave that video on. So that was a core element and scene to the game. That is when we introduced the main villain of the first game. Also, Vampirka, thank you for the stretch. I do appreciate it. And so, when it comes to Gears, like I said, the game is a very brutal franchise that we go through. And so, having one of your key characters, like the lieutenant, which is pretty high on the chain of command, getting killed within the first roughly hour of the roughly first hour of the game, is kind of a big deal, you know? Like, it's like, oh, shit, this is what we're up against kind of thing. So, oh wait, actually, there's one more thing I want to show before we do that. But yeah, as you can see, like, where you think things are calm, they're not. And that's what the battlefield is like. And so we get that experience from the game, from the game's perspective. And like, that is a key factoid right there, which is just the whole you take command. Let's see. Before I end, and then there's like the whole stream conversation. Yes. So yeah. And there's one last sequence that happens in this
Control.
that I really enjoy.
This is Private Phoenix. Lieutenant Kim is dead. So we've fallen back inside the tomb and we need a way out of here.
Repeat, Alpha. Kim is dead?
Confirmed, Control. KIA.
Roger that. There's a courtyard at the other end of your building. That's your best bet.
Copy that.
Well, we sure as shit can't stay here.
You're Baird.
Yeah, that's right, asshole.
Question is, who are you?
Oh shit, quiet. Don't move.
What was that?
A berserker. She can hear us. She can smell us.
Get out of here. We gotta get fucking out of here, man.
Kill us.
Oh my god. Control, this is Delta. We have a berserker in the vicinity. Please advise.
Hold your fire, Delta. Standard weapons won't work. Do you still have the Hammer of Dawn?
Affirmative, Control.
You've only got minutes of satellite coverage. Get her outside and use the hammer. That's the only thing that'll work.
Wilco, Delta out. Alright, guys, sit tight. We came here to help you, and that's what we're gonna do. Dom, let's go.
And so yeah, so that is Gears of War for you. That is at least like the first hour and 10 minutes roughly of the game. And there's more to it. There's more to solve. There's more to see in this world. It's scary at first, but once you start fighting your way through, it's like, okay, that combat scenario was insane. Now we get to go through, see a little bit more of the world. Oh shoot, another combat scenario. Whew, okay, see, the world is insane. See, and then 2 really starts to unravel that mystery that is the story of Gears of War. You find out more about the culture of the Locust Horde. You know more of their story, their origins. Gears 3, it changes the whole we're on our last stand perspective, and it changes that. Gears 4 takes that last stand, and now we're thriving again. Because like after like as much as we've gone through, that's what's gonna happen. And then Gears 5, now there's a new mystery to be solved. And so that's what happens in the Gears of War series. It's war, but it's a mystery. It's finding out what happened. It's how can we fight back? How can we survive? What can we do? You know, it's very much a very proactive approach in a situation. So yeah. And if you're wondering why we don't see any female locusts, well, there you have it. That is a female locust for you. That is the berserkers. Yeah. So yeah. There is a queen. The voice you hear is the queen. and you see her at the end of one. Spoilers, but her image will surprise you more than anything else. That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah, if you'd like to see more gameplay of Gears of War, if please do feel free to check out the VOD. It is still going to be up on Twitch. If you want me to post it to YouTube, I will post it to YouTube. But beyond that, I'm going to go through Gears 3, Gears 4, and Gears 5 at some point down the line later this year. I play these games yearly. These are part of my regular repertoire. And so, yeah. If you haven't already, please do follow me over on Twitch. That is the best way to catch me. I stream Monday to Sunday every single day. And if you can, please do feel free to hit that bell icon and that subscribe button so you get notified whenever I post a new video on up. Leave a comment down below if you want to see more content like this. Because like I said, I do this every day. I love doing this kind of stuff, and I'm taking a different approach on how I normally do content. Solely because I don't like editing, and this is just easier for me to go through a raw reaction, just kind of what's on my mind, spitball, fire, take it. So that's how we're going to do this for this YouTube video. But with that, we are already 40 minutes in, and it's a lot more than I thought I would do with it. So thank you guys for watching. I'm going to post this to YouTube, and my stream is going to keep going. So see you, YouTube.